Welcome to yoga this morning, and remember that you do yoga at your own risk, so do take care with every move that you make. Make sure that it feels comfortable, make any adjustments that you want to, leave anything out if you like. For us live here it's very warm, so if you feel too hot, don't carry on, don't feel dizzy, lie yourself down if you need to. So we're going to start lying down on our backs, just allowing yourself to find a comfy place on the floor. Doesn't matter whether your knees are bent or straight. Let the back of your head rest on the floor. So it can often feel more relaxing with palms turned face up. Check in with what your body feels like now that it's rested on the floor, which parts of it has contact with the floor. And probably because you've got your arms and legs stretched out, possibly, you maybe have different materials underneath you, your mat, the floor, carpet, wood, wherever you are. Can you feel the different textures of what your body is lying on? And then can you notice any sensation of movement of air across your body? Because it's hot, I can see a few fans out. So certainly if you've got a fan in your room, you've probably got that sensation of air moving across you. Maybe you've got a window open and maybe it comes and goes. And if you can't feel it, feel out for it. It's like you're waiting for it to come. And when you do feel it, what parts of you feel it? And even what is the sensation that you feel that makes you know that it's a breeze on your body? All those little inquisitive type feelings, making it just not good, not bad, no judgment involved, just what that sensation actually is. We're so used to knowing that a breeze is good when it's hot and you think, oh yeah, that's great. But forget about that's great, just actually what is it? As if you're removing yourself from all your past experiences of being hot or being cold, as if this is the first time you felt that sensation. And then bring your attention to your breath. Allow it to be settled, so just comfortably deep. Steady. We're going to move the arms in time with the breath. So as you take your next breath in, your arms reach up towards the ceiling and over beyond your head. And as you breathe out, your arms come back down by your sides. And although we've done this loads and loads of times, again, imagine that you don't need to think about what it's felt like in the past. What does it feel like for each raise that you do? And what's the sensation that tells you that your arms have gone far enough? Your arms next land by your sides, let them stay there. Bend your knees, bring your feet onto the mat. Nice and wide apart, so maybe a little wider than hip distance, but still on the mat. And arms palm face up, a little way away from your body. So feet are apart, knees are apart. Take a breath in here. And then as you exhale, let both knees drop over to the right side. So pivot onto the edges of your feet. Just let your knees go as far as they want to go. And then as you breathe in, your knees come back up to the ceiling. Exhale over to the other side. So alternating sides. Coming up on a breath in. Lowering to the other side on a breath out. And then the next time you come up from the left side will be your final one, but there's no need to rush. Stretch both legs out along the mat. Legs together, heels push away, toes pull up towards you, and then take your arms up over beyond your head once again. So how close can your fingertips come to the wall behind you? And how close can your heels come to the wall in front of you? And spread your fingers wide, spread your toes wide. And relax your hands and feet. Bring your arms back down by your sides. Bend your knees. Bring your knees onto your chest, hands around your knees, and a rock side to side. Settling back at the centre, feet down on the floor. We're going to come up to standing, so take your time, roll to one side. We're preparing for our salute to the sun, so standing at the top end of your mat, looking out over the short edge. We're going to start into Tadasana, mountain pose. I'm just turning to you so that it's easier to see. So toes pointing forwards and a tall, comfortable stance. So imagine that there's a very thin vertical line right through your centre, from your ankles, almost as if it's zipping up your legs together, right up through the centre and out through the crown of your head. And it's a very thin line, so it's lifting you up through the centre, but your body is relaxing. So your shoulders are not hoiked up, they're relaxed down, your arms feel completely soft and relaxed. And then as you breathe in, that centre line lifts you up even taller. And as you breathe out, it holds you up. You keep the height, but everything around the centre line softens. So we're going to do our salute to the sun as normal. Because it's hot though, make every movement as smooth as you can. And when you've done one round, if you don't want to do the second round, if it feels too hot, then come back to this standing position and this same breath. While we do the breath with the movement in the salute to the sun, you breathe in to lift up tall through your centre line, and you'll breathe out, keeping the height but just softening. So that's your choice if you want to miss out the second salute to the sun. So staying where you are, and you're going to lift your arms up to the ceiling. And then look up between your hands, reach your arms back and wide. Centre of your chest pushes up towards the ceiling. Even as if your shoulder blades underneath your sort of are pushing up through your chest, lifting you higher to the ceiling. As if they're supporting you in that little bit of back bend. And then look forwards. Stand up tall. And take a forward fold. So a bend of your knees, fingertips on the floor. Feel your way into your first forward fold. Right leg steps back to a lunge. And left foot steps back, down face dog. Feel the mat. Draw your tummy button in towards your spine. Slide forwards to plank. And hold it steady. Feel how your tummy button secures you. Your hands and feet pressing down into the mat secure you as well. And then knees gently on the floor. Smooth lower down of your front body. Roll your shoulders back. Lift your chest. Shine your torch out towards the wall in front rather than the floor. And then look back down at the floor, push up to hands and knees. Tuck your toes under, down face dog. And take a walk through the legs. And then stretch both legs. Feel the stretch up the whole length of the back of your legs, not just the bottoms. Weight on the left foot, look between your hands, step your right foot through to a lunge. Step forwards with the left foot, forward fold. A deep bend of your knees, hips down low. Keep your hips low, lift your shoulders, look forwards. And then stand up. Palms together at the top. Your full height, palms slide down. Feel that centre line through you. Take a breath in and a breath out. And lift the arms again. Look up, reach back and wide. It's like you lay your shoulder blades down on some sort of support behind you, but then you try to push them up towards the ceiling. Look forwards, reach up. Forward fold. Left leg back to a lunge. And look forwards. Right foot back to down face dog. So firm through the floor, firm through your core, slide forwards to plank. So this time if you're feeling strongly, if your knees lifted, otherwise place them back down. And smooth lower down of the front body. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. Back down, push up to hands and knees. Tuck your toes under, back into down face dog. Belly button to spine. And as you press down through your hands and feet, allow your hips to lift up and back. And once they've moved a little bit up and back, hold them in that position. See what your hands and feet need to do to hold them there. Weight on the right foot, look between your hands, and then step the left foot forwards. Step the right foot forwards, forward fold. Deep bend of your knees. Lift your shoulders, look forwards. Straighten your legs. Palms together at the top, and then slide your palms down. So feel your center line. No, you can just stay standing, breathing with your center line if you'd rather. But if you come with me for the second round of the salute to the sun, make your actions as smooth as you possibly can. Smooth and slow, as if there's no rush. There is no rush. So breath in to lift your arms. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right leg back. Exhale, down face dog. Inhale, plank. Option to drop your knees. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, down face dog. Keep the same steady pace of breath. Firm down through your hands and feet and your core. And then firm down some more in order to send your hips up and back. Keep breathing steadily as you hold them back. Then weight on the left foot, look between your hands. Breath in, right foot forwards. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, palms down. Breath in to lift up through the center line. Exhale to soften. Inhale, lift up, smooth and continuous. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, lift up again. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg back to a lunge. Exhale, down face dog. Inhale, plank. Option to drop your knees. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, down face dog. Inhale. Exhale. Keep that pace of breath, but firm down so that you can push your hips up and back and hold them there. Right on the right foot, look between your hands. Breath in, left foot forwards. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up. Palms together. Exhale, palms down. Breath in through that center line. Breath out to keep the height but let everything soften. And then rest your arms. Staying standing, you're going to take your feet hip distance apart. We're going to do a side stretch before our balance today, so don't worry about the wall just yet. So you've got an imaginary wall behind you. Every part of the back of your body touches it. So your hips, your shoulders, even your little fingers, the back of your head. Take a breath in. And then keeping that contact as you exhale, lean over to the right, slide down the wall. curving your spine over to the right. Let your right arm just dangle. No effort in your right arm, no effort down the right side of your waist. Equal weight through both feet. And you can take the left hand onto the back of your head. So make sure the back of your head's still in contact with your wall and the outside of your left arm. Take a breath in to lift your elbow a little higher up towards the ceiling. Push down through your left foot so you get a big stretch on the left side. And then as you exhale, soften the right side. Let it just collapse. Breath in to stretch the left side. Elbow up, foot firmly down. Exhale, soften the right side. One more breath in, stretch the left. Stay on your wall and then exhale, soften the right. Breath in to come back upright. Relax your arm. Feel your wall again behind you and you're going to slide down to the left this time. So everything's slow, nothing needs to move fast. You're going to be here for long enough that you can develop the stretch, so you don't need to push it further than it's comfortable to go. Right hand onto the back of your head. So just check your wall behind you again, back of your head and your right elbow against it, both hips, both shoulder blades. And as you breathe in, right foot firmly down, right elbow firmly up. As you exhale, no effort in your left side, let it just hang. Breath in again, stretch the right side. Exhale, soften the left. Final stretch of the right side with a breath in. Exhale, soften the left. And breath in to come back to the centre. Relax your arm. So we're going to balance. We're going to be balancing on one leg. And if we start balancing on the right leg, if you want something to hold, you want it to be on your right side. So just so that you know. And you need a little bit of room over to the other side. So only use your prop if you need it, but obviously do use it if you need it. So that same standing tall feeling, as if that line is still going up through your centre line. Try and keep that line there. Pick up the left knee, and you can hold underneath or in front of that knee, whatever feels comfy. Take the right arm out to the side if it's not being used as a balance, but as a prop. So you lift up as you breathe in, you soften as you breathe out. And you're going to let the left knee come out to the left. So your hips and chest don't move, it's just the leg that moves out to the side. And hold your gaze very steady. Down through the right foot. You're going to leave the left knee where it is, stretch the left arm out, and bring your arms up to a V shape, and extend the left leg out onto the diagonal. So it's still off the floor, but you stretched it out. It's like you're a star shape, and then you're going to tilt over to the right, just as far as your balance dares. See how far you can take it. Stretch your arms, stretch your legs, take up as much space as you can. Then we're going to untilt, place the foot back down on the floor, rest your arms. Nice use of a stick there, Anda, as a balancing aid, I like that. So stay steady, keep your gaze in its best place. Find your full height. Ground ground through your left foot, pick up your right knee. So hold in front or underneath. And left arm out to the side. Or left arm to give you a bit of assistance. So shoulders are relaxed, you're at your full height. The right knee eases out to the right. Holding your gaze, firming down your left foot, stretch out the right arm. And then arms to a V shape. Extend the right leg. Get your balance there for a moment. Lift up tall, stretch out wide, and then tilt. I think it's good to tilt too far, Daniel. That's a good thing to do. So back to the centre, foot to the floor, rest your arms. And we're going to lie down on our backs. So you want a block or a cushion as you lie down, somewhere near the back of your head, just so that you can use it if you feel you need it. I'll indicate to you when that might be. If you have something to hand, then you know you'll be okay. And then stretch out. Find your comfortable position. Come back to that observation of any movement of air on your body. Setu Bandha. For Setu Bandha, we definitely don't want a block behind the back of the head. So if you had to put it there, knowing that you might want it in a bit, move it away for this one. Bend your knees, feet onto the mat, feet hip distance apart, and heels fairly close in, so that your shins are vertical. And although you can't see vertical, you need your heels pretty close towards your hips for vertical. Toes slightly turned in, and arms by your sides, palm face down. So your knees, where your heels are a little bit apart, your knees are the same distance apart. And throughout the exercise, you try and keep that same alignment of your legs, like your legs are parallel. So ground down through your feet. Push down firmly, as if you're trying to make a bigger footprint, a deeper footprint in the floor. And let your hips lift up away from the floor. And again, don't rush to get anywhere. We're going to be here long enough. If you want to come down early, please do. Take it slow going up. Every time you make a deeper footprint, your hips lift a little bit higher. Your shoulders can relax for the moment. And when you feel that pushing your feet down doesn't really give you any more lift, then push down with your upper arms. Let your chest lift up to the ceiling. If it feels alright, you can interlock your hands behind your back, bring your elbows in close, and you might have to rock side to side just to let the upper arms roll onto their outsides rather than the back edges, so that you've got more of a leverage to push down with your upper arms. So that your back ribs lift up away from the floor, your chest lifts towards the ceiling. Your chest domes towards the ceiling because your armpits are still down on the floor. And once your chest is lifted, you can make that firm footprint in your feet again. And is the footprint that you're making even? Steadily working to lift the whole time, but not over-exerting. So the front body is now long, broad, expanded. One strong press down through the upper arms and the feet at the same time. And then keep your hips lifted, but separate your hands if they're together. Take your arms just a little bit wide of the mat. We're going to go slowly down, slow motion, hips sort of strongly but slowly towards your heels, and the whole width of your back rolls back down onto the floor. It's the smoothest movement you make. Beautifully done. So you can take longer if you need to, but once you're there, bring your knees onto your chest. Take your hands around your knees. Have a breath in, and as you breathe out, bring your forehead up towards your knees, but relax your shoulders. And then gently upper back and back of your head, lower back down onto the floor. Keep a hold of your knees. Have a rock side to side or a circle of your knees, whatever feels comfortable. Maybe a figure of 8. And then place your feet back down on the floor, rest your arms on the floor. So your knees are still bent, feet on the mat, hip distance apart. And take the outside of your right ankle onto your left knee. So in a moment is when you might want the block behind the back of your head. So make sure it's to hand. Pull your right toes up towards your right knee and ease your knee away from your face. So you get a bit of a stretch on your right hip. So as you press the knee away, you don't have to push it to its maximum. Feel your lower back on the floor. Keep your lower back where it is. Don't let that skew out of position, because this is about the hip socket, the ball and joint socket. So you want to keep your hips as still as they can, and it's just the movement of the tip of the thigh bone in your right hip that we're looking for. So you can stay here if that's enough stretch on your right hip. If you want a bit more, pick the left foot up off the floor, lift your head up, look towards your left thigh. You're going to take a hand either side of the left thigh, so the right hand goes through the middle, through the eye of the needle, and they meet behind to interlock. So this is where you might need the block behind the back of your head. If you do, place it there, tuck your chin in, roll your back and the back of your head back down onto the floor. So if your chin is sticking up at the ceiling, up to the ceiling, and your shoulders don't feel relaxed, that's when you need the block behind your head. And it just allows you to relax your shoulders. And it's not an exercise about the shoulders. If the shoulders are tense, it's not going to do you any good. So we're just thinking about the hips. So let your shoulders be comfy. Don't feel it's not advanced enough. It's nothing to do with that. So if you could relax your hips, what would that feel like? Can you draw the left thigh a little closer in towards you? Maybe in the direction of your left shoulder. And the right leg isn't completely relaxed, because if it was relaxed, the knee would ping towards your face a little bit more. You're easing the right knee away from you. Awareness of your hips as well, because we don't want to move the hips, we want to move the thigh in the hip socket. So is your lower back just where it was when you had your feet on the floor? Or is the tailbone peeled up? Or is just the right side peeled up? whatever you can do to make it close to that original position. Release the right leg. Bring your right foot back down on the floor. Left foot, sorry, I did that wrong, didn't I? Left foot back down on the floor. Right foot back down on the floor. And then outside of your left ankle on your right knee. Pull your left toes up towards your left knee. Ease the left knee away from you. But feel your lower back still square on the floor. You can stay there if you want to, or you pick up your head, look towards your right thigh, pick up your right foot, take your hands around the back of the right thigh, interlock them, tuck in your chin, roll your head back down. And if you've got one hip tighter than the other hip, you might find that you need the block on one side and not on the other. Be thoughtful and aware of what you need. Shoulders can relax. Hips can relax. They might not want to, but can they? Left knee not coming towards you, just easing away, but right thigh coming towards you. Maybe coming towards your right shoulder. Check in with your lower back. You don't have to make it right, but be aware if it has moved in some way. Release the right leg. Let the right foot land on the floor. Let the left foot land on the floor. Stretch both legs out. Let your arms relax. And then bend your knees again. Knees to chest, hands around your knees or around the backs of your thighs. Bring your forehead up towards your knees, just gently. See if you can get a little bit of a rock backwards and forwards. If it doesn't feel good to do that, then don't. We're going to come up to sitting in a minute. If you want to have a few rocks forwards and back, round your back as much as you can. So it's just the momentum and the rounded spine that lets you roll. Where's your flat bit? Can you round it out? Next time you come forward, see if you can come all the way up. Lovely. So find your block. We're going to sit on the block to take a twist. Legs stretched out. Take a bend of your right knee, foot onto the floor nice and firm. Left hand on your knee, right hand on the floor behind. So use your right hand to push your lower back ribs forwards to sit as tall as you can. Left toes pointing to the ceiling. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, take a bit of a turn to the right. So every time you breathe in, try to move your lower back ribs a little bit closer towards your right knee to sit up tall, but relax your shoulders, and then every time you exhale, a bit of a turn to your right. So if you're looking over your right shoulder, just turn your head so that it's in line with your shoulders, so that you're looking effectively forward, so it's a bit to the right, but with your shoulders. Take a Breath in to lift up. Keep your head in that alignment as you exhale and twist. And then this time, one more breath in. As you breathe out, this time turn over your right shoulder. Final twist. Then relax your shoulders, relax your arms and legs, turn to the front. Stretch out the right leg. Left knee bends. Foot flat on the floor. Right hand on your left knee and left hand on the floor. Right toes pointing up. So to sit up tall, it's like you need to pull your lower back ribs in towards your left knee. And then your shoulders can just sit on top of your rib cage. So a breath in to sit tall. A breath out to turn to the left. So you don't have to look over your left shoulder yet. Every breath in, lifting taller, squeezing your lower back ribs in, relaxing your shoulders. Every breath out, a twist of your rib cage to the left. One more breath in. This time as you breathe out, look over your left shoulder as well. Final twist. And then relax. Turn to the front. Stretch out that leg. Maybe give your legs a shake or anything that they need. So forward fold, staying on your block if you want to, coming off it if you know that you quite like folding forwards and you don't want the block there. But a little bit of a bend of your knees to start, feet a little bit apart. We're going to think about the lower back ribs again. So take your hands just where they give you a bit of support and try to move your lower back ribs forwards towards your knees. So a feeling of sticking your bum out behind and a feeling of trying to arch your lower back. So your shoulders just relax. You probably find that if you bend your knees a bit more, you get a bit more movement, especially if you use your hands to push. If you stretch your legs out, it's going to inhibit that movement. It's going to be harder to get a bit of arch. But find where it suits you to find a little bit of pushing back of your bum, arching of your lower back by moving your lower back ribs forwards. So if that's quite difficult to find any arch, then you stay here, just working on that. If you find it a bit easier, then you can bring your hands forwards and relax your shoulders forwards. But wherever you are, relax your head and neck. So if you're right up, more upright, you can still just relax your shoulders. You can still, on every breath in, move your lower back ribs forwards. So every breath in, it's lower back ribs forwards. Every breath out, it's relaxing your shoulders, letting something go. So make the breaths slow. Every breath in, lower back ribs. Every breath out, easing off a little bit. And then slow the breath down some more. You can play with how bent or straight your legs are. Two more breaths here. So breath in, lower back ribs forwards. Breath out to relax. One more breath in. One more relax of your shoulders. And then chin to chest. If your hands are forwards, walk them back in towards your hips. Rebuild your spine up gently. Relax your legs. And then bend your knees. If you've got block underneath you, slide it out. Place it back near the where your head's going to be, because you might want it again. And take another lie down on your back. Another opportunity to feel the sensation of any movement of air. Take another hip stretch with Happy Baby. So Happy Baby is one where it can be quite nice to have the block behind your head. I would suggest if you wanted it behind your head when we did the needle stretch lying down just now, that you'll want it again, and if you didn't, you probably won't want it, but have it nearby. Use it if you want to. You're going to bend your knees, feet onto the mat, and then knees up onto your chest. Hold around the back of your knees. Take your knees wide apart, so wide, just shoulder width, a little bit wide, not together, just shoulder width, and ease your knees in towards you. Then pull your toes up towards your knees, and keeping your knees where they are as much as you can, extend your legs so that your shins become vertical. Your soles of your feet are looking at the ceiling. Then creep your hands up the outsides of your shins to your ankles. Hold your ankles, let your knees relax down. If you can reach further, then hook your fingers over the outside edges of your feet and hold on there instead. But that's your choice. Don't go further than you need to go. Remember, if your chin's sticking up to the ceiling, that's an indicator that you want the block underneath or pillow underneath the back of your head, so that you can relax your shoulders. Because if you can relax your shoulders, then maybe you can relax your hips a little more. What could let you relax your hips? Maybe close your eyes, convince your body it's relaxed. Every time you exhale, imagine real softness and just relaxation in your legs, and letting your knees melt down towards your armpits. Shoulders always want to tense up. Let them relax, let your jaw relax. Again, check where your lower back is. Maybe your tailbone has peeled up off the floor. See if it will go down a little bit. If it doesn't, that's okay. You're still aware that it's happened. Take 2 more slow breaths here. And then release your ankles or feet very gently. Bring the soles of your feet together. Take your knees wide apart. And the outside edges of your feet land on the floor. So soles of the feet together, outside edges land. It's cobbler's pose but lying down. Knees settle out to the side. Stretch your arms wide out to the side. A good position on a hot day, everything sort of exposed to the air. And you can use your hands if you want to guide your knees back together. Feet on the floor, arms wide out to the sides, palm face up. Going to twist. So lift up your hips, slide them over to the left side of your mat. So your spine is no longer parallel with the edges of your mat. Bring both knees onto your chest. Tuck them up tight, take a breath in. As you exhale, very slowly take your knees over to the right. So you're coming into a twist. Your left arm and left shoulder stay as close to the floor as they can. So you can let the right leg go down first if you want to. If it doesn't reach the floor, you might want to take your cushion and place it underneath the right thigh just to give it a bit of support. And then right hand onto your left knee, either to support it or to guide it down towards your right knee. Give yourself time to settle into where your body is prepared to go. It might resist for a few breaths. You can look up at the ceiling, or you can turn and look over your left arm. Holding your left knee with your right hand. Imagine your tummy button moving a bit closer towards your left hand. Maybe that lets your left shoulder settle a bit more comfortably on the floor. Stretch your right arm out to the side, palm face up. And then left leg first, bring both knees back to the centre. So roll onto your back. Make it as easy as you can when you get there. Feet on the floor so that you can centre your hips again. A twist gives a squeeze to the internal organs. They need a moment just to settle before we can twist the other way. But it's very cleansing for them to get that twist and to get fresh blood as they untwist. Pick up your hips, move them over to the right side of your mat. Knees to chest, tucked up nice and close. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, knees over to the left. Back of the right arm, back of the right shoulder stay down on the floor. Move slowly. Let the left leg go down first, and if you need to support underneath it, a pillow or block, then pop that in there. Left hand on your right knee to either support it so that it's not just hanging in the air, or to guide it down towards your left knee. And then slow breaths just to allow your body to be in the place where it wants to get to. Look into the ceiling or look into the right. Maybe allow your tummy button to move closer to your right hand. So just a very subtle movement to find a bit more twist. Stretch out your left arm. And then right leg, then left leg, bringing both knees back to the centre. And when you get there, feet on the floor, centre your hips, have a little rock side to side, or bring your knees onto your chest, have a rock, whatever makes you feel that everything comes back into place after a static hold of a stretch. And then place your feet on the floor. We're going to finish with a breathing exercise. As it's so warm today, I would suggest you stay lying on the floor, but if you prefer to sit up to do a breathing exercise, then of course sit up. Find any blocks that you want to sit on, make yourself comfy. If you're on the floor, you can keep your knees bent if your lower back is more comfortable like that, or you can stretch your legs and make yourself comfy. Breathing exercise that we're going to do is alternate nostril breathing, so you will be using one hand. You have your other hand wherever you want. Use your right hand for your control of your nostrils. So you're going to use the right hand. If you know how we do this, then no need to look. If you want to have a look, then you'll take your right hand and you take I'll do it with my other hand. The first two fingers of your hand into the palm, and then your right thumb will rest on your right nostril. your right ring finger will rest on your left nostril. So I'm going to change over hands, so I'm using my right hand. Breathe naturally, but breathe deeply. Take a breath out through both nostrils. Then use your thumb to close your right nostril. Breathe in through your left nostril. Change over nostrils, breathe out through your right. In through your right. Change over, breathe out through your left. So follow the pattern, in through your left. Change over, breathe out through your right. In through your right. Change over, out through your left. So carry on with that same pattern. You just change over the nostril at the top of your breath, the end of your inhale. Sometimes with the concentration of it, the jaw tenses, so relax your jaw, relax your shoulders. Would it be comfortable if you could breathe a little slower? After you breathe out next through your left nostril, do one more full cycle again at a nice slow pace until you the next time breathe out through your left nostril, and then back to natural breathing, rested arms. If you're lying down on the floor, stretch your legs out. You don't have to lie down on the floor if you're sitting up though, you can stay sitting up. So legs together, push your heels away, pull your toes up towards you, and then even if you're sitting up, take your arms beyond your head. If you're lying down, point your toes away. relax your arms and legs. Bring your arms back down by your sides. And if you're lying on the floor, take a bend of your knees. Roll over to your right side. Gently make your way up to sitting. Namaste. Lovely. Thank you so much for joining me.